We'll continue this in a second.
Hi everyone, we're live. I'm just gonna finish my thought. Language is something I'm very passionate about, so I liked having the discussion, and I didn't realize how much time was going on because I was under the influence of alcohol.
This is Ultra Podcast Z, the podcast where nobody has a mouth. Nobody has a mouth, and only Manuel has a camera. He's in the dark void. It's funny because I'm actually not in my chair. I'm in my stool because the chair, like my back was killing me earlier, and I just wanted to sit in the stool.
You're in your stool.
I'm in my stool. That sounded weird. You're right.
Actually,
But
it's not weird. You say on a chair but in a stool.
no,
It's like how you say you're in a car but on a bus.
yeah,
I guess you could also say in a bus. You wouldn't say on a car.
on a car. I'm on a car. That's like you're sitting on the car. But no,
It's very confusing to learn when you're learning English for the first time.
So if y'all tuned in, well, no one's even watching us. If y'all turned in for Ultra Podcast Z for the visuals, then you're in for a big disappointment. You look at my pretty face all night, but yeah, I don't know. This episode probably, even though we have a topic and we have an outline, I just get the vibe that this podcast isn't going to really take off. But whatever, Konaru's asleep, Molly's asleep.
Yep. I'm not asleep.
I'm actually kind of sleepy.
Been up for 26 hours and I am not asleep yet.
I wanted to take a nap before we started, like actually a long time ago. And then at first I thought it was later than it was. And last time I took a nap before the podcast, Konaru remembers this, I slept through the podcast. And like I woke up like at 7.
This was me cashing in when you did that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And I did it way worse. Like I woke up like an hour and I woke up like at 7:30. And it's funny.
Has anyone ever slept through work?
Oh, yeah. I have slept through work countless times.
I have too, and I was treated way too nicely for it.
Well, like
in my opinion.
But anyway,
I mean, I'm happy. Anyway, whatever.
Let's get back to let's actually do an intro. I'm Manuel, leader of AJ Connections, A2J Connections. Somebody was watching. Somebody be my roommate was watching a DTL, like not a recent one, like several weeks ago. They were watching it, and they're like, "It sounds like you just say I'm Manuel from AJ Connections." So yeah, I'm Manuel from A2J Connections. Enunciation is key. And yes,
AJ Connections.
AJ Connections. And joining me as always is Konaru, dead and asleep.
Hello, I'm Konaru. I'm dead.
Wake up!
No.
There's this meme.
I still gotta do a lot of things, so I need to wake up though. But yeah, I'm here.
There's like this meme where this cat's like playing ball or something like that, and I think the cat's losing. It's like, get your head in the game, whatever, and it's all like, it says his hobby is napping. But yeah, that's what
the cat is losing.
Yeah, the cat's in a competition, like a cat competition. Like a dog competition, where they jump through hoops and they do whatever.
Oh, okay.
And the cat fell asleep, and he's like playing with the ball as a kitten, and it was asleep. And like one of the comments, it's like it's a commenty meme where it's like it just comments and replies. And one of the comments is like, "Get your head in the game," like Henry with what the cat's name is.
Get your head in the game.
Yeah, and the next comment. Yeah, and then the next comment says like and it does say it. It says his favorite hobby is sleeping, is napping. But yeah, I imagine that being Konaru. Anyways, that was it. Konaru, yes. And she already has the nyan. What is nyar? She got the. She got the nothing.
A big sleeper. Even when I was a baby, I would go to sleep late. Like I've always been someone that would go to sleep late. Like for a baby, I would go to sleep at like 10 p.m. and I would sleep through the night, like from a very, very young age, like before children should be going to bed that late and sleeping through the night. And it's basically never stopped because my sleep schedule is still weird to this day. But one of my friend's moms on Facebook, she talks about how she is the same thing and it never goes away. And there is actually this whole theory that like evolutionarily there are some people that just like have a different circadian rhythm, but that's okay. Anyways, that's not important. Hi, I'm Molly.
Hello, Molly the scientist.
I know. I'll say Molly synth, but I can't say it. Anyways.
Part of having, I'm Molly, and I also do not have a face right now because I've been up for 26 hours and no one wants to see my face right now. I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule, which is why I've been out for 26 hours.
She's actually she's like half like cave troll or something. But I'm trying to think of
that's me whenever I come back from Japan. I like stay up for like 24, 48 hours just to fix my sleep schedule.
It's actually great when I go to Japan because my sleep schedule is usually more.
Yeah, it's more in line. Yeah, it's more in line with the schedule over there.
So tonight we actually do have a topic. We're discussing.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. We're discussing how idols are represented in like the general media. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. We're discussing how idols represented. Is that a word? How idols are represented in anything that's not the fandom itself, like from how it's viewed from the outside, the fandom is. So we're gonna get into that in a few different ways. So what's some of our topics besides just going over what that means exactly? We're gonna talk about the survey that Anime News Network put out last week. Exactly last week, like the like hours after our podcast last week, that when we just talked about summer camp for an hour. They put out a survey that we're going to discuss. It's kind of funny. And then we're going to talk about how cons think everything is Love Live, all that nonsense. Basically how cons look at idols. It goes beyond that, but like that I just kind of spoiled what the thesis to that argument's going to be. We'll also talk about like how Wota are seen from the outside, because that's a hotly debated thing. And then we have the bonus topic. I wanted to just bring this up briefly at the very end. If we have time, talk about like Produce 101, not so much just Produce 101, but the Produce 101 shows. How me and Konaru kind of like separately, funny enough, both shared our views on how they did badly some of their overseas versions. I think the China one did badly. Konaru thinks Produce 48 did badly for their peoples. So how do you say that, Konaru? For their respective allied groups. So yeah, we'll discuss that. Randomness, closing.
Wait, did no one watch Japan Produce 101? No one?
No, I mean, like, okay.
No.
I don't know about you anymore. I don't know about you these days, but first of all, like, I only ever really cared about the China ones, but like, and now China has like 8 billion competitors. That's the way China is. They just keep making knockoffs of everything. They have like 8 billion competitors for those shows, so what's the point? But what's the point of watching Produce 101? They literally revealed that all of it's fake. Even though we could all kind of agree that they're all fake, but they were stupid enough to like not care and get caught like that.
Okay.
I thought Molly was going to say something. I hate that I can't see Molly, because I can't see that she probably just didn't even like move when I said that.
I was thinking of something to say and then I didn't have anything to say.
Exactly. I would have noticed that she wasn't going to say anything. Anyways, we'll save that for later. You're killing our topics. Any news with us lately? It's my birthday. It's my birthday in like 3 days. Not even just Saturday. It's my birthday in 3 days. Well, it is Saturday, but yeah. DTL. I wrote a really cool presentation for it. Everyone should go watch. I won't tell you what it is, but it actually, I think it's fun, and I use a different fucking theme. So for those who watch DTL, Callie always complains that I use the same theme and that all my presentations look the same. Not necessarily they are the same, but they look the same because they all have the same formatting. But I changed it, so hopefully she stops complaining.
Only to decide exactly what I'm going to do it on. I have a couple ideas, but.
Fun fact, because all I ever talk about in these little updating parts. Oh, let me actually update the bottom. All I ever talk in our little host update things is how DTL this, because that's all I really do A to G wise these days, because we're all fucking in lockdown still. But fun fact, I've actually like written several presentations that I don't want to that I wrote that I'm like, I don't want to do that one. I read a new one. So technically, I could not write one again and still be good for like a month. I don't want to give them all away, but like Molly. Oh, actually, I don't know if Molly knows, but like if you've been watching, I've mentioned I have the Great Wall one, the one on the Great Wall of China that I wrote. I just want to rewrite it a bit. I have one on the roll of the D20. I mean, the evolution of the D20, the actual dice, from RPGs. And what else do I have? Then I have the Drunk Monkey one from Journey to the West that I'm saving for when we get Megan back. And there's also a fourth one that I don't want to reveal because I haven't revealed it, but I wrote it as a literal spare, like just because I was like, oh, I'm gonna whip this one out real fast, and then I'll just leave this one for like a week. I just don't have time to write one, which hasn't happened because fucking lockdown, and I haven't been working that much. So yeah. What's new with Molly? Molly, you recorded like 8 billion covers today.
Yes, I did. If anyone knows the Smeal Sing app, I somehow have like 1,000 followers on there, even though I only post.
Oh shit! My mic keeps chirping bad. My bad. Let me see if I could try to adjust that. I know I don't hear it either, but I mean, I don't see it. I can't hear it either, but I mean, like, I don't see it. Maybe I'll just talk further away from it. But let me try to fix it on my end. Go ahead, Molly.
But I've been currently going through and singing all the songs from Mermaid Melody. I finished season 1 today, and I sent all of them to Manuel.
Yeah. Let me know. I did little minor adjustments on my soundboard, and I'll try to talk not into it too directly. Let me know if that does anything. Fun gummy. But when Molly was sending me them, for those who were watching, and well, actually nobody would know because I only posted on my Facebook. One of my monitors died. My main monitor, the one that's right in front of me, the one the camera is on, died today, and it's actually been giving me problems lately. But I can't get it to stay on, and I'm pretty sure it's just dead. I did replace it. But because of that, I've been like worried about what to do for the podcast tonight. I'm like, do I? And I'm actually using an old TV, which is why our screens are a little blurry because the resolution that I'm cutting the getting the screen cap off of is really bad. But yeah, my fucking one of my monitors died, and Molly's sending me the covers, and I watched a few of them. But towards the end, I'm like, Molly, I'm stressing out here.
Well, there were a couple that I was like, if you're gonna listen to any, listen to this one because.
And I legit, mind you, I listened to them all up until this point, but there was a point when I was really stressing about the monitor that I was kind of I was gonna I'm not gonna listen anymore. And then she sent me one, and the character had like big anime titties. I'm like, I'll click on that one. Who is that? I don't remember her for Mermaid Melody.
Sarah. She's
the
evil one.
There you go. I actually remember her now, but yeah.
That's why her song is like. I was singing this song, "Return to the Sea," I think, is what it's called, by Sarah, and it's literally like constant. It's not even really singing because it's all like almost the same couple notes, so it's almost more like talking. But it's like, it's singing, I guess, not talking. But it's like literally without stopping for like half the song. There's no place to breathe. It's very difficult.
Wonderful, it's fixed. Thank you. But yeah, I did. I tend to put the mic a little too loud in some of the mixes. My bad. And also, I was kind of getting DTL like this right now, where I'm just like eating the mic, even though my mouth is covered. But anyways, Konaru, what's new with you besides sleeping? You're like already fucking asleep.
I got a new phone.
Oh yeah. I saw you make a post about that. You got a new phone and you updated everything so that it looks like
hell yeah, this is like 20 times better than my old crappy phone. I got the Note 10 Plus. So fun story about it. I went to go buy it at Best Buy Unlocked because I didn't want to deal with like, you know, the mobile network, whatever the fuck. I didn't want to deal with that right now. I just wanted the phone. I had the money up front and everything. Like it's all paid off and stuff. So I was like preparing to spend like at least $1,000 on this phone. But when I walked into Best Buy and I was like, hey, do you have the Note 10 Plus? And he's like, yeah, we have a brand new, then we have like one open box. I was like, open box? What's that? And he's like, oh, it's going to be like a lot cheaper. It's just missing like the headphones. And I'm like, I don't even use headphones. Give me that one. And it was like $750.
Oh
wow.
Versus regular price $959 or something. Huh?
Remember when phones were like $100?
That was a long time ago, Molly. Well, to be fair, to be totally honest, there was one time I bought like the latest new Galaxy phone. That was the one I lost in Japan.
Oh, that's so sad.
And like that was like at the time it was like an $800 phone. And I paid that cash because like it wasn't like a plan. I paid that like just down, and I must have had that phone for like 4 months, if even that long. And I think I bought it to not to look cool in Japan, but to have a nice phone in Japan. Because I'm be meeting like more professionally people there, so I don't want to like whip out like my cheap like Metro phone or whatever. But yeah, I usually deal with cheaper phones now. I just spend like a $300 phone. Still not $100 phone, but I don't think I'm ever gonna buy a more than $300 to $400 phone again.
That's valid, but I actually saved up for this one. It's just like I really have no more money though, but it's fine. I've been wanting to get a new phone anyways, just haven't really had like the opportunity to like do research or like go out and get one. But I'm really happy with it. I plan on using this phone to do my VTuber stuff actually.
Oh, nice.
The Galaxy phones and like mostly iPhones have a better like AR face detection sort of thing, but her Galaxy phones are like a little bit of a cheaper option, and there's this free program for most Android and Apple phones called VTube Studio. All you do is just you upload your live 2D model to it, and then it just does the face recognition, face rigging for you. So hell yeah.
Yeah,
that's only like $8. If you buy the full version of that, it's like $18, which is not bad. It's like $18 the whole thing. You don't have to pay like a subscription or anything.
And hopefully Konaru gets that soon, so we can stop having this no camera for everyone nonsense. But
hey, I like not showing my face. I don't like.
You were fine for like a while, and then you got all not my face. I'm a cave troll.
No.
And I don't know why I'm just calling everyone a cave troll right now, but yeah.
You can thank people. But anyways, yeah, I really like my new phone. It's so good. It has a night or a dark mode for every app. So hell yeah. It's just a good overall phone. Like I would totally recommend this. My last phone was a Note 5. Lasted me 5 years. Hell yeah. I'm expecting this to last me like another 5 years. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied.
Nice.
Konaru, have you Paper Mario?
God damn it, Molly.
Paper Mario?
Yeah.
No, not yet. Why?
I just want to talk about it.
Oh my god,
talk
Molly.
about it here.
But it has to be with people that have played it.
I know you're gonna spoil the. I heard it's pretty interesting, but don't spoil the whole thing. Anyways,
I'm just gonna say that I did cry.
It's a paper.
Shut up, Manuel.
It's a Paper Mario game. They're made out of paper.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm being a bitch. Did Mario die?
Being a bitch.
No, Mario did not die.
I just noticed I have
this is the end of the Mario franchise.
I know. I didn't update all this. It was kind of funny that I still have the Kayla thing because that was the last time we had a podcast. Like we wrote an outline. But anyways, moving on. Let's talk about idols and how they're represented. Idols and how it's funny because for the before we started, Konaru was actually a little late, and I don't even know if Konaru even saw this, but like me and I was trying to get Callie to come on, like busting a Konaru and Manuel thing, and she didn't answer because she was on Do Not Disturb. But I wonder if she's gonna like in the middle of this try to like
Oh, she totally should.
What am I doing? Idols and how they're repped because I don't think represented will fit. So let's talk about this. This is our big topic, and I'm not gonna lie, we'll get to the ANN survey soon. There's a hell of a lot to talk about there, but let's back up a bit. This is a topic that we brought up a lot. I bring it up a lot in the Idol 101 panels we do. Konaru brings it up a lot online. She brings it up. And
wait, what do I bring up?
How idols are seen, like, outside of
yeah, I hate that shit.
Yeah. Explain it, Konaru, because I'll let you just get into it. How do you feel idols... Okay, Konaru doesn't know how to talk today.
Wait. Okay, no, wait. I have a tweet that sums everything up. I just gotta find it. Give me...
Okay. Well, anyways, and this is a topic that we've also covered several times in the podcast before. I don't know if we've covered it too much in this main one. I know for a fact when we had that very short-lived offshore podcast, I think we had one on this. That's the lost episode, like episode 2 or 3. That it's not lost. No one uploaded it. Like I still have it, but But yeah, I think I think we did a podcast technically on this in the past. It's just that nobody saw it unless you were watching us live back then. But the long and the short of it, I don't know what Konaru is going to eventually show, is that idols are totally misrepresented.
I found the tweet.
Okay, you go first.
So
then.
I made this tweet. Pretty much summarizes my stance on everything. Things we need to talk about in idol culture: harassment/abuse by staff, management, and fans, underpayment of idols, unhealthy beauty standards, overwork culture, what mainstream media chooses to talk about, the love ban, male gaze, OMG, and idol shaved her head.
Oh, okay. Do you realize how many fucking? I mean, like, I'm sure she's sick of it too. By she, I mean Minami Minagishi. I'm so sick of going to any normie idol video on idol culture, and like they will talk about Minami Minagishi like ad infinitum.
I want to make a bingo for like mainstream media covers idol culture, and then we just like every time some article or like documentary comes out, we just like start using that.
Now I will start by saying that some of them are just. I understand you want something sensational, you want to like throw it out, talk about like some of the bigger talking points there, but the whole head shaving thing, for those who don't know, is first of all it's taken mostly out of context. They paint it as if it was like this dark, horrible thing that happened. And like, first of all, like I don't think anyone ever does a follow-up. Like nobody ever talks about what happened to her after that. Like I think she's still in the group. I think she's still in the group. Didn't they delay her graduation?
Still in the group.
They delayed her
aiming to graduate in March.
Yeah, they delayed her graduation because of COVID. But
yeah.
But TLDR, like nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever talks about what happened afterwards. But not only the far afterwards, nobody really talks about after like the actual head shaving. Like there's the very famous pictures where she's hanging out with I forgot all their names. But she's hanging out with other AKB members backstage, and they're all like, "Lol, your head shaved." They're all smiling and all having a good time. Which was like the next day, and it is what it is. I mean, it happened. I think the biggest story of that I said before is that Ellen Shirahana from Generations from Exile Tribe, the guy that she had the scandal with, nothing happened to him. That's the bigger story I think people should be covering, or at least give you that angle.
But cute girl and sexualization. I mean, like, of course that exists, but like, women are more, how do you say, sensationalized in the media, if that's the right way to put it.
Are male idols ever really punished when they date?
No.
Well, the worst that will probably happen. See, is that Callie? Yeah, it's Callie, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Callie.
I can't see it because if I click on it, it'll kill our camera. Tell her we're already live anyway, but we will switch the call there, and then she'll just join us. No, it's fine. It's fine, Callie. To tell her it's fine. That we were just desperate. I think Konaru
I'm not telling her anything.
I think Konaru
she's busy.
Well, I think Konaru woke up. Well, don't tell her anything, because then it'll keep making the notification sound go off on my end, and I don't want.
She's busy, anyways. So.
Okay. But anyways, going back to the whole thing, the worst that would happen if like a male idol is caught like. Fucking hell. The worst that would happen if a male idol were caught was that they would probably be like what's I'm looking for? There'll be a backlash from the fans. Like not so much like from the media attention, it'll just be like, we're upset with you, but they're not gonna get kicked out of the group. No real lasting ramifications will typically happen. My god, what are you guys doing over there? I have to mute this now.
I don't know.
Konaru, Molly, stop!
I'm just sending messages because it's
I told you to stop! Anyway, no, it's not that it's annoying me.
I'm gonna contribute.
No, wait, I muted it already. It's not that it annoys me. It's that the sound gets picked up and it's on the stream. That's the part. Because I'm using the speaker audio, so everyone watching heard the 10 fucking notification sounds.
They need to know that we're having a conversation.
Well, I muted it. Anyways,
oh, fuck you.
So you guys do what you want now. Anyway, fun fact, one time when we had Kat on the DTL, don't worry, I'll jump right back to the short story. When we had Kat on the DTL, she shared her or she turned on her audio because she wanted to show us a video, but she was fucking wasted, and she forgot to turn it off. And I don't know if she's like in like a million Discord groups, or if like it was just something was going on that night otherwise, or she just talks a lot on Discord. But like her notifications were constant. You can go to the DTL. I don't know if I have a link to it below if you're on YouTube. But you can go to that DTL and it's just like a constant ding, 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 like one after the other. It was actually kind of annoying.
Sorry to stop the conversation, but like I guess this is breaking news. Jake Paul got swatted.
Oh really?
Yeah, FBI raid. Well, okay, not swatted, but like FBI raided his home. Like a couple hours ago.
For what?
I don't know. I think it was because of that COVID thing that he did or whatever the fuck.
Wait, I think it was... Yeah, it was Jake Paul. Never mind. Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, I think he was... That's kind of obnoxious. I'm not going to get to that. It's too political. Anyway, let's move on from that. Come to the DTLs for the political hot takes that I'll probably cut out of YouTube. But that's crazy. But going back to the thing, Alan Shirahana, all that nonsense. I don't know about, and speaking about the love band always is talked about as well, which is funny because typically it's not in any.
It's not even like even there anymore. Let's be real.
It kind of is now.
It is, but it's only by the fans.
Can I play devil's? Can I play devil's advocate here? Because I've mentioned this in past podcasts. We had an episode on the love band. I forgot what episode that was. That actually might have been a A to J Talks episode. Now that I really think about it, but I know we had one on before. Now to play devil's advocate real fast. I've always thought that it's very. And this also goes with people reporting on it. Ooh, love band. I always think that it's very shit, what's I'm looking for? It's very self-imposing of like your ideals, that you see something somewhere else and you're like, you shouldn't do that. And I know at its heart it's a bad thing that you would like try to like, you know, control someone's life to that level. But also you got to look at it from the other point of view, where this isn't something new, and culturally speaking, to us it's unheard of, but to a young girl born in Japan wanting to be an idol, they know that's part of it. It's not like they're bamboozled like when it happens. They're like, oh, you can't date. It's like, oh, really? It's like they know. You know what I mean? They grew up knowing. It's not like us that found out somehow, you know, down the road. I just find that I just find it a much different thing when, you know. Also, fun fact, isn't there a recent one? Like, isn't like, what's her face, Nana something from AKB? Isn't she like in a dating scandal right now? And I saw Paida post about it, and I was like, I didn't want to have my little like thing. It's like, and also the biggest thing is, I'm not saying that they can't. I mean, I don't think anyone is saying they can't or shouldn't date, but it's almost like a cat and mouse game. Just hide it better, you know?
Yeah. Like, and okay, let's be real. A lot of idols date behind the scenes. Let's be real.
Yeah, and I'll be real too. Actually, no, I'll save that for next week. Anyways, I was going to talk about the local idol scene versus the Japanese one, but I'll save that for next week. Fun fact: next week we're doing an overseas idol topic thing. So tune into that. Tiffany will be on, and maybe if I can convince Sylvia to come on, yeah, we'll see. Because like we've been having like these crazy. Anyways, stay on topic. And I'm sure Konaru doesn't want to hear it, but
no.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you guys' feel on the love ban is. First of all, I like we said, it's not as big a deal as, you know, people make it out to be. And by that I mainly mean the onus is always put on the fans, but culturally speaking, it is a thing. And to be fair, it's a thing in a lot of other places. You see it a lot, like in the. I'm pretty sure it's a similar thing in the K-pop fandom, from what I understand. So, it's even kind of a thing here. We just don't really realize it. It's not so much that like we cancel them and we do whatever, but it's like it's a scandal. It's still a scandal. You know what I mean? It's still like,
oh yeah, like when Justin Bieber first got a girlfriend.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We just don't think about it. Like, it's just kind of like we have the exact same thing. It's just that we handle it differently. You see what I mean? So I've always thought it was. I always thought it was weird that the love band thing gets so like. I don't want to say vilified. See, I don't want to defend it. That's the thing. I don't want to defend it. I just think people should understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get like hot take there. I'm not. I mean, not hot take. That wasn't a hot take. I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just trying to, explain how I see it. But anyway. But yeah. Besides that, there's all the. What was the other ones you mentioned, Konaru? The focus on girl shave her head. Focus on love band. What was the other two?
I forgot.
God damn it! You should have had that tweet up.
Hold on, maybe it's still
like
up.
The
no,
male gaze.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, male gaze.
The male gaze, like what, like otaku or what?
Yeah.
It is actually interesting, and this is something that we've, I think, talked to people about, or I've seen interviews about this. I think we've asked questions about this before, on how in America it tends to be that if a singer is female, most of their fans are female.
Oh yeah.
And then I guess if a singer's male, it can really depend. But like, it's not so much of a thing as like in Japan. It tends to be that male artists and singers have female fans, and female artists and singers have male fans. Like that tends to be more of a trend.
And the demographics are very similar as well. Like if you go to an Arashi concert, well, I guess Arashi's a bad example because they're already old. But if you go to like most like younger male pop groups, like I can't think, King of Prince, I think is a younger fucking Johnny's group. If you go to one of their concerts, you'll see middle-aged women, fawning after young boys. So it's kind of a similar thing. And I'm not trying to say, I shouldn't say fawning, because that makes it I sound like just the reporters we're talking shit about. But you know what I'm trying to say. Cheering them on. I meant fawning in a non-sexual way, by the way. But anyways, keep going, Molly.
No, that's basically my thing. It's just it's a different. Like, I'm not saying whether or not that it's good or bad, but it is just a thing that I think I've seen some artists talk about in interviews. How, like, I guess in America, now that I think about it, though, if you have like a male artist, they probably have mostly female fans. But if you have a female artist, they also probably have mostly female fans.
Yeah,
females just tend to be the fans, I guess. I mean, not, you know what I mean?
Similar,
really avid fans. Like the Wota culture doesn't really exist in America in the mainstream. Not that Wota is really. I mean, I think it is pretty mainstream in Japan. Like
it is. We've actually talked about like how the otaku culture, kind of the similar thing. How nerd culture is kind of a bit more trendy these days. Or I think that's kind of dying down. But how nerd culture was trendy at one point, like a really big trendy thing. Otaku culture was very trendy as well for like not to get too off topic because this is really about idols. But I mentioned in the past Densha Otoko, which is like this train man. It was a movie, it was a book, it was like all mangas, all sorts of shit. A TV show. And that really popularized the idea of the otaku, whatever. But going back to what Molly said, I think that kind of what she's hitting on there, that we mentioned, that people mentioning in interviews, is that, like, for example, when an idol group comes to the U.S., unlike doing a concert in Japan where their audience is mostly male, you might get a much more of a mix here. You'll still see, like, older male fans. You'll still see a lot of younger male fans, but you'll also see a lot of female fans. Depending on the artist, you might even see more female fans than like anything else demographic wise.
Yeah, and I think a lot of idol groups are kind of like I remember seeing an interview also. It's like that surprises them, and also just the way that the crowds act. Like in Japan, I think they tend to be quieter and like only cheer really like.
Well, you cheer what you're supposed to, yeah.
Yeah, but in America, like at a big concert, people are just screaming the whole time.
I don't know. I don't like screaming the whole time for a concert.
I can't. This is mildly off topic, but I can't stand most K-pop like they're still not fan cams, but like when people film like they're at a concert and they're not at the front. Like I don't even want to name the people because I have friends or and I have obviously one person who's not my friend anymore right now, but she would post a lot of these too. But I have friends who are K-pop fans. They'll be like, "Oh, I saw BTS live," and they'll show a video, and you can't hear shit they're singing. It's just screaming.
Okay, I saw BTS live at the Jingle Ball. And where we were sitting, we could see kind of like backstage a little bit. So we saw them walk out. And as soon as they came out from the door, you could hear nothing. It was ridiculous. I took a video of it. It was on my Instagram feed.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw
Low-key.
I was just like, they aren't even on stage yet. And it was like deafening. And like everyone surrounded, like my mom is a big fan of BTS. She wasn't screaming, but that like is the main reason that we went. We were actually supposed to go to BTS's concert in May as well.
Yeah, same here.
Happen.
Like
you were gonna see BTS?
Okay, so I bought tickets for my boyfriend's mom because she is a huge fan of BTS and like she wanted to go, but she didn't want to go alone.
Okay, that's a bit more. Because no, the only reason I bring that
low key, I'm kind of glad like COVID happened, so I
oh my god!
And get my eardrums.
They are really
nobody clipped that sentence out of context, by the way. But anyways, I'm kind of glad COVID happened. Anyways, nobody clipped that out of context.
I would definitely recommend earplugs, but they are really talented. It just like it is a thing. It's hard to hear them because the fans are so loud the entire time. Like, the entire time they were on stage, there were these girls behind me. And it was actually really heartwarming because I was like, I remember when I used to get, like, that excited.
I remember when I was that obnoxious. Like, oh my god, I almost knocked...
just because it's like when you're, like, a teenager and you see, like, your idols, what?
No, I almost knocked back my backdrop. It would have been really embarrassing.
Me with warming
like, really heartwarming to see how excited they got. Because they were probably, like, 16 or 15 behind me, and they were all very, very excited and like singing along to all the songs.
But I don't know. I don't want to belittle anyone's fandom. It's just the yelling is a bit much.
That's another thing that is different between like concerts here and concerts in a lot of other countries. Actually, don't yell as much.
Just in case this is your first UPZ, the reason I was so indignant with Konaru there is because I've made it a point, like in the past, that as far as like because I've made it a whole thing that like there's such a mix of like, and this is kind of goes into the topic here because I feel like we'll mention it later on when we talk about cons, but like K-pop and J-pop get like mixed so many times, and I don't mean mixed as in like like. There are sometimes they do things together, of course, obviously. But what I mean by that is there's a lot of like both casual fans and K-pop fans who kind of just like, this is also Asian, so let's just lump it together. If you watch DTLs, everyone makes fun of me because I always call that racist, and like that's not racist, just the way it is. But anyways, but I've always made the joke that like there's a lot of pure K-pop fans, but I have never met a J-pop fan who is just a J-pop fan. Usually they're a J-pop and a K-pop fan. And Konaru is one of the very few, and I should say I never, but there's very few. And Konaru is like one of the only ones that like, that is like that. I don't like K-pop either, for the record. I do like, Chinese pop and whatever, but there's a huge divide there. And I've never once like mixed them together. I love when I go to watch some of this is mildly off topic, but it's also on topic. I love when I go to watch a Chinese MV of like a group I like, and in the comments it'll be like, "Oh my god, you're so kawaii," or like "Sugoi desu," and I'm like, they clearly think they're Japanese. And that's so racist because like nothing on there is Japanese. They're singing in Chinese, and I'm like, and they're Chinese, and I'm just like, and you'll never see like you'll see China, and the comments are mostly in Chinese, but you'll see all these like English speakers trying to throw their like their one-liner Japanese, J1 Japanese they know. Anyways, what is that sound? Who's like cleaning their house?
Oh, it's me. Do you hear that?
Oh.
If all you first. Oh, J1 like Japanese level 1.
I like how.
I was thinking.
Oh, there it goes. It got better.
J2.
I like how everyone like Fun Gummy earlier was making fun of my crackling mic. Then Molly just crackled that entire sentence. But Say what you said. I didn't hear what you said though, because you were crackling. You were crackling.
Oh, I didn't. I was thinking like of the JLPT, and I was like, that's not J1. And then I was like, oh wait.
Oh no, I meant J1, like as in like the language course.
Yeah.
I mentioned this before. This is off topic, and don't worry, we're gonna move on to the next topic. I think we're done with this whole overview thing. But I was mentioning how I mentioned this before in the past that the college I go to, it's a very weeby college. It's in a city called Torrance. Well, like the junior college I went to my language courses actually, it was cheaper there.
Torrance in general is just very weeby from what I've been.
It is also because it has a very like heavily Japanese population, but it's also like it's like the little Tokyo of the South Bay. But unlike actual little Tokyo, where it's a tiny thing that's not really like Japanese, it's like it's very like touristy, it's all like hipster shit there these days. It's actually like there's actually Japanese people who live here. There's actually Japanese businesses, and like pretty much every like chain in Japan has some sort of like branch in Torrance, and a lot of Japanese companies actually have their U.S. headquarters here as well. But anyways, the reason I bring this up is the junior college I went to go to my language courses. It's a very weeby school, and everyone goes there to learn Japanese. Same reason I did. I mean, I guess I had to let myself in there. And they also teach all the way to J4 at a junior college, which is kind of like not that common. To have like a junior college is only a 2-year program, and you can go through all like through Japanese. You can also go through all the Chinese, which is also what I did.
That's the level I got to J4.
But it's very telling because there's about 20 sections, and I'm not exaggerating. There's about 20 sections for J1, and then there's like 3 or 4 for J2, which is also you have to do consecutive language courses, so that also makes up for people just drop out. And then there's 1 each for 3 and 4. But yeah, there's literally 20 J1 like sections, classes, individual like class times or whatever, and it's just insane. But yeah, don't let me say I brought that up, because I like that. Those are the people who go to the Chinese like MVs and say "Sugoi desu," "Kawaii desu," and and so on. It's those people.
Just anyone who does that in general, unironically.
Yes.
And like, you know the kind of people I'm talking about.
Yes. So let's move on to the next thing. The bigger part of all this, the ANN thing. Now I was gonna put a link there. Hold on, the ANN survey. Now, I was gonna put a link there because I'm sure Molly never saw this, but the survey's gone. I guess what it was done, I don't think they deleted it because of this, but I think it's what it was done. They just deleted it. So to give Molly, Konaru can pick up any holes I'm gonna skip here.
Okay.
Anime News Network is obviously one of the biggest anime news sites, as the name implies. They did a survey where it's like, hey, what's your favorite idol group? And supposedly, if you did the survey, it's like we're gonna do a male idol one later, and the whole thing was just like fucked from the get go. They ended up editing it a ton of times to like fix some of the problems, but some of the egregious just mistakes is they put Hello Project there as like Hello Project, which is not an idol group. It's it's like putting 48G there, on the list. For those that don't know, it's like it's a collective. It's like they changed that to Morning Musume later on though, and then they also put Arashi in one of the other questions. And obviously, for those who don't know, I mentioned them earlier. Arashi's a male idol group. But to go back to the actual survey questions, there was only I think there was like 15.
And then one more. No, one more.
Oh, what was the other one?
They also put like this anime band girl group in there. They're not. They like even the creator of the series said like they're not idols. They're just girls in a band.
Which is a very fine line. I've mentioned the whole band idol thing on the Idol 101 panel. That's a whole topic for the day because it's like the Love and Door argument. I always call it the Love and Door argument. For those who know, Love and Door is like this group, Tanaka Reina, who was a member of Morning Musume, formed after she left, and it was her, another vocalist, and 2 guitarists, and all their fans will be all like, they're not idols, they're a rock group, but they fucking perform at Tokyo Idol Festival, and they do all the Tokyo, all the idol trappings, and it's like, anyway, moving back to the actual thing, but yeah, they put a Bandori group on there. the list was very non-inclusive, and like first of all, it only had like it had 20 groups or 15 or so. I don't know if you remember the whole number, Konaru, but it had the Sakamichi groups. It had like 4 of those. It put like Kiyakizaka, like Nogizaka, like like whatever the fuck the other ones, the all the other 46s, and then it only had one. It only had AKB48, and then it had like all the anime idol groups and so on. It was just a clusterfuck. And then who was the one who complained about it first? Because I saw you a lot in it, but I don't know if you were the one who kind of like made it go mini viral. But yeah,
no, it was Haley.
Oh, it was Haley.
And then of course everyone knows Haley, and then we all just started shit posting on it.
Yeah, Haley was for those who don't know Haley. I don't know if she's still a member of that group anymore. I don't think she is. Not to get too much in that tea there, but I heard some tea about she's not in Dance or Dash anymore. But she was a member. Was whatever member of that. Who is messaging me here now? Oh, that's Drink Talk. Let me mute that too. Sorry, guys. But she's also been on this podcast like a few times in the past. I just wanted to say who she was in case you guys didn't know. But anyways, but yeah, it got a lot of flack. A lot of people called it out. Sorry, my mask is hot, and I'm not just leaning like this because I'm lazy. But I mentioned my monitors will work, so I have to look at this one. I don't know why I'm looking at it. I can't see you guys, but I still feel weird looking at a blank monitor looking like here. So I have to like lean and look this way. But anyway, yeah, it was called out. And then, did you read their defense, though?
Oh, yeah, I saw that defense.
Okay. I have it quoted directly here. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool.
No, yeah, I have it quoted. So basically, a lot of people, rightfully so, were like, you should include. It should be more inclusive. You have groups that shouldn't be on there. You should include X group, X group, X group, X group. You should have all these other groups, so on. And then the person who wrote it apparently replied back, and where is it? They said we should why should we have added those? They aren't relevant to the information we're researching. We're not creating a list of Japan's most popular idol groups. We're aware that dozens of groups are missing from this list. But wasn't that what the actual thing was called? Oh no, it was who was your favorite?
What was your favorite?
Your favorite Japanese, but it was just so funny. I'm like, that's kind of what you're asking for. And there was no right in category. It was just pick these. And I don't it wasn't the better way to word it, if that's what you're looking for, were we picked out 20 of our favorite, or more realistically, I guess these are groups that they're trying to cover more in the future, or they have some sort of contracty with, to maybe do some sort of collab with them. It's oh, which of these idols would you want to see, and have basically admit that they're limiting, that they're just collecting info from you for that purpose. But
I just really dislike how the guy replied to it. I don't know if you saw this reply to hold on, I gotta bring it up. But it was made on his personal. I don't know if you were quoting anyone from his personal Twitter or something.
That was from his personal Twitter, yeah. Okay. I actually didn't realize that. I'm is this actually the writer? But when it was still there, I clicked on it, and he was the person that wrote it. What was the quote you were gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, where is it? Dang it. Every time we make a survey, we get these answers are missing. No, they aren't. They're irrelevant. They aren't part of what we're researching. That was one I was quoting.
Oh.
That was made on his personal Twitter.
I don't get why he's so well, like I said, clearly this was a marketing survey that they worded really badly. But first of all, they should have worded it better. And even if you accept that, we've already mentioned the Holler Project thing, the Bandori thing, the Arashi thing, and I think there was a couple others I'm forgetting. There were mistakes already in there. It wasn't the all-inclusiveness was the big issue here. I will admit some of the oh, you should have included my favorite group in there. Some of the replies were kind of ridiculous because people would suggest the most underground obscure idol group. I'm no, who would even vote for them besides their 50 rabid fans in the US? No knock against them. I'm just saying there is a level where I think that certain groups shouldn't belong on the list, but that list was nowhere near that level. It was so far from it. Now,
this is why I don't trust anime news sites anymore.
Well, Anime's news network is kind of like, how do I say this? They're kind of like the Kotaku of like the anime sites, where like, even though they're big, I don't know if I think they're independent. I don't think they're owned by anyone, because Kotaku is like owned by this big media conglomerate. But even though they're relatively big in like whatever they report on, most people like don't like them, talk a lot of shit about them all the time. So, if you remember during the whole the Vic case, I'm not going to go into that what that was. But if you remember during the whole Vic Mignogna case, they were the ones who broke it. Like, it was their article that broke it. But then they also posted an article by a different author, of course, defending Vic. So it's like, even within their like, like they can't even like. I mean, I guess that's just journalism for you, but that they literally played both sides of that story. So that's my why I don't like Anime News Network story, in case you're wondering. I don't know if anyone even remembers that, but I remember. Like, where's that Pepperidge Farms thing? Pepperidge Farms remembers. Anime Maru talked about making a news survey, or some guy who worked for writes for Anime Maru.
Oh, I know the founder of Anime Maru. He's a pretty cool dude, actually.
It's a site, right? I mean, like, I feel like I haven't heard.
Yeah, it's a parody site of Anime News Network.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't really know what that is. I was so confused when this anime. Sorry.
Think of like The Onion, but for anime.
That's so bad.
It's so beautiful, though.
The Onion, but for anime. But yeah, apparently, like, he was saying, like, I remember seeing one of his replies. I think it's the same person talking about the founder of Anime Maru. Was all like, it's like, I thought Anime Maru's list was bad, and like, I thought my list was bad, and I write for Anime Maru, and I didn't understand that, but now that comment makes way more sense, knowing that they're a parody site. But yeah, honestly, there's no real way they could have made that list any worse. I would love to see what Anime Maru's list looked like if they ever did it. But I don't know. The story kind of came in weird, but I felt like it went to a much larger thing about discussing how, idols are perceived. We'll move on to the next topic in a second. But Molly, did you by any chance, did you happen to see this survey, or no? This is all news to you.
No, it's all news to me.
You don't follow Haley or anyone like that, or on Twitter?
I might, but I'm not on Twitter that often.
Oh. But yeah, everyone go tag Molly in something on Twitter until she like looks at her Twitter. But well, I've been trying to be.
Follow me on Twitter.
Huh?
Also follow me on Twitter.
Yes, follow me on Twitter too. Alevic_222. I try to
MARIISUGA.
I try to be on Twitter more, because that's where more like
Yeah,
stuff
I'm trying to Twitter more too.
Twitter tweet.
But even then, I feel like I don't post as much. I just lurk.
Yeah, same. And like, I post a lot of my hot takey tweets there, and every so often I delete them, because like a lot of them are like, that's kind of cringe, or I hate making posts that nobody interacts with.
Yeah, it's just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like lurking more.
So half the time I make a post, I'll delete it. Like, it's not even when it's a hot take. I'll make a post. I'm like, this is a funny post, and I'll make it. I don't want it to go viral, but I want a friend of mine or two to fucking hit the like button. But it's like, no one ever does. I'm like, fine, you don't deserve this post, and I'll delete it. But that's Manuel on Twitter. I don't know. Anyways, follow me on Twitter, guys.
Follow me on Twitter too, please.
Okay, let's move on to cons thinking everything as love life. Even though it's a little more deeper than that, I just wanted to call the whole topic that. Well, first of all, fuck, I can't spell. Hold on. Thinking everything. That's probably spelled wrong already. Let me see. Did I spell it right? Is everything? No, I spelled it right. I had to put LL instead of love life. But first of all, this is an elephant in the room that cons aren't happening anyway. By the way, this is a really quick deviation. I made a post about it though. Have you guys noticed that almost all the upcoming cons that are being announced now are trying to charge money? And I mean, let me actually back up and rephrase that. All the upcoming online cons are trying to charge money. Like all the anime cons we've already announced, they're going to still be free, but there's a lot of new ones that are trying to charge money for their online things. I think that's ridiculous.
I feel like cons like AWA and especially Crunchyroll Expo and Anime Expo would have charged. But they didn't. I'm surprised. Now these new ones are coming out of nowhere.
But like
they're charging.
Now this is mildly off topic, but actually kind of is because it's still cons. But I remember people were saying that anime. This is kind of insider information. I don't know if I should say it because this is stuff I heard from people who ran at Anime Expo Light. But I'm gonna say it anyway. They'll blacklist me. I don't know. But anyways, apparently, like their biggest fucking panel, whatever it was, I don't know what it was, but their biggest panel at that weekend only had like 2 to 5. I forget the number, but like 2,000 something people watching it. And sure, that's a ton of people. It sounds like a ton of people, but that's nothing. That's like a drop in the pan compared to even some of the panels that are at the convention, like that are physically there. Like some of the main event panels, I think that panel would have been in the main event room, and that would have had maybe 5,000 people there, like actually sitting there. And they already live stream most of their panels. They've been doing that for years. And apparently the numbers for most of them were comparable to what already existed before. And this is Anime Expo. This is like the biggest one. And they can't even pull in like literally what is it?
Well, let's be real. The whole appeal of Anime Expo is going to Anime Expo. So I feel they lost a lot of their appeal when it came to, not being like an in-person thing. So people just like kind of gave up on it.
So they literally like their biggest events pulled in like 2% of like what it or it was very TLDR. Even though it was a success, and technically I guess it was. For what it was, but it was nothing near to I think what people expected. I don't know why people thought like tens of thousands of people would show up for like a fucking Zoom call, and that leads to that leads me to my next point. That's what most of these cons are. It's like, why would you pay for that? And then half of them are awkward as fuck because the Anime Expo had some tech issues, but imagine these tiny upstart cons, or even the even the normal cons that just don't really have a full team there to run this. You're literally pulling people from 50 different locations for like these events, and like shit's gonna go down. You have to have a really good team there. But yeah, basically you're paying for shitty Zoom calls, and like with the world the way it is right now, a lot of their guests, especially the music ones, are already doing this content on other things. Like they might already be doing concerts, they might already be doing their own live streams, their own Q&As, and I just not only can I not imagine paying for it, but like I don't know, there needs to be a whole new model if they're going to try to earn money from it. Why not make it ad supported? I'm sure the Twitch things are fucking ad supported. I don't know. Anyways, that's a topic for another day.
Twitch is ad supported, I think.
But yeah, like Anime Expo Light, I'm sure made money back on their, the sponsorships and their ad supportedness. But some of these other cons, I mean, like you have very little overhead. You could be like, oh, we're paying the people, but cons aren't supposed to be like a paid gig. Like that kind of, as far as I'm concerned, that kind of kills the spirit of a con. It's always like volunteers. But even that aside, paying a team and even maybe paying the guests, that's still a fraction of what an actual con costs. There's no venue fees, bless you. There's no insurance. There's no hotels. There's no food. There's no like stipends for like, whatever. Anyways, it's just a lot. I just find it funny that any of these events would charge at all. It just seems a little greedy in my eyes.
I mean, like if they had like something really like exclusive, I guess.
I mean, but what would they have? Like I've already said, like every person who could or can or has an audience already has a Q&A out there, like during a recent one. I mean, not like years ago, but I mean during this whole pandemic. They probably have several. Any group, like a band that's doing a concert, have already done one, or several. And so on. It's just like I just find it ridiculous, and I bring this up a lot because I've been throwing away a lot of emails. I've been going through a ton of emails, like trying to empty my inbox. But I opened a bunch today because they were talking about events, and I'm like, they're offering us press passes to these online events, and I'm like, why? Like we could, if I want to, I'll just show up. And I click on the links, and they're charging, and I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like one was the gaming convention, and one was like a comic one, but those are not the only ones. Those are just the ones we got through email that I've never heard of. I don't know how they got my email, but and there's tons of others apparently that are doing it. Apparently, there's a Fujoshi Con I'm sorry, Fujoshi-con. What would be the better word? It's called Fujo-con, but there's a Yaoi-con, an online Yaoi expo that's charging like a decent like sum to go to it, like $30 or $40, and I'm like,
they better get me a one-on-one Zoom
like,
call with
exactly.
Bringing.
Like I better get me like some naked BL action like on my like in my house or some shit like that.
Whoa,
what did you say it costs?
Like $30 or $40, I think. Because I was talking to Yuji about it.
Dang.
But and there's another anime con. Well, for the record, I think that the video game one I mentioned was only 20. But there's another anime con that apparently is charging 30 for it, and there's another the comic one I mentioned was charging 25. The comic one was 1 day, so I'm like, who the fuck would pay that? Who would pay that for 8 hours of awkward Zoom calls? But anyways, actually on topic, idols at conventions, thinking everything is Love Live. Now this is funny because this comes in two different angles. There's the con runners, the con promoters thinking everything is Love Live, and then there's the attendees thinking everything is Love Live. And by that I also mean the attendees who are performing at all the idol events that go on during things.
That's toxic to say, Manuel.
Oh God. Was that actually brought up in Julianne's video? I don't feel it was, but I
don't want to talk about it.
I named next week's topic, by the way. But no, I mean, I'm sorry. This has been a thing we've been going on for I bring this up all the time. We've actually separated the idol panels into 3D and 2D for this. It used to be back in the day. I don't know. Yeah, Molly was on a few where we try to cover everything in the one-on-one panel, including like we had a little brief thing on 2D here and there. But yeah, it's obnoxious. But ever since we split them, every so often, I don't think it happens as much anymore. I think everyone's seen our panels; they kind of know who we are. But in the earlier days, I remember the very first time we split them, we would get the Love Live cosplayers who would show up to the panel thinking we're talking about Love Live, and it's no, we're talking about Morning Musume, AKB48, Momoclo, and so on. This is random aside, but I just remembered on top of my head as we talk about Baby Metal and Idol 101 panel, and there were all these angry Baby Metal fans in the Anime News Network post going on about how Baby Metal isn't an idol group.
Dude, even some Japanese fans got it on the Anime
Did you see
News
that?
Network.
No, yeah. I remember specifically seeing the Baby Metal arguments. Now, I will admit that as far as today is concerned, Baby Metal is not because we mentioned it, and this has always been our thought on what an idol group is, because it's such a nebulous thing, is that whether they're marketed as an idol group. Because there's a lot of groups that wouldn't fit the mold, and they're like, oh, we're idols in Japan. And not to throw the race in there, because there's a whole different story in the local scene. And we're they're idols. But then you got groups like Tokyo Girl Style, when they're we're not idols anymore, but they're still doing the same shit. But they're not idols anymore. So I guess that could be the Baby Metal thing, but they were definitely idols at one point. That's kind of a weird thing to
Yeah, they were part of a different idol group. They were a subgroup.
They were one of many subgroups. They were just the one that was popular. Nobody remembers that anymore, but they were the heavy metal club, and then there was the science club, and then there was there was four others.
Hell yeah, Cooking Club represent.
There were other and they did singles, and then Baby Metal took off. Well, they didn't even take off. They just pushed them that hard, and then it's kind of I don't know. Topic for the day, but I just thought that was funny to mention because that randomly popped in my head seeing all the angry Baby Metal. I keep saying Babby Metal. All the angry Baby Metal fans. I'll say Babby Metal to piss off a dad fan somewhere out there. Babby Metal. Anyways, were you on I don't remember if it was the podcast or not. Were you on it, Konaru? When I was ranting about people who use the word babby, even though I just used it right now.
Yes, you say that almost every other podcast.
I use babby sometimes.
I find it so annoying, and I don't want to call her out like this.
Usually animals. It's usually animals that are called ends.
To be fair, most people use it ironically. I don't think anyone uses it mad non-ironically, like, but like Ren specifically, well, all of them use it a lot, but Ren uses it a lot, and I was kind of calling her out. I think I called her out in person anyway on the GTL about it by using Babby all the time, and it's whatever. But yeah, Ren uses. Everyone go tweet at Ren, say stop saying Babby, unless you get really mad at me. So everyone go do it. But fuck, what was I saying? Everyone thinks everything is Love Live, but I don't know if we've ever covered this. I feel like we haven't, even though we technically should have. What is your take on that, Konaru? Because you're a fan of Love Live, but yeah, you're also on both sides of this argument, I guess.
No, I'm not really on both sides. Like, I appreciate Love Live for what it is, but at the end of the day, they're just seiyus doing their job.
I keep trying to knock over my backdrop, but I feel like it's a topic like outside the scope of this podcast. But the whole idea of the seiyu, the idol seiyu, is so odd to me because it's not new, but it's really blown up. And it used to be back in the day, like it wasn't that common. And when it was, like, what's a good example? Fuck, I can't think of one on top of my head, but like
Kirai Revolution, Hello Project, anime idol groups.
Oh yeah, it's usually how do I say this? It's usually more they exist as idols, first, or like more as well. But to get it, I don't know. I just find the whole concept so weird that they're seiyu like performing. I don't know. It's hard to explain. And also, you got to look at things like I mentioned in the past, like Macross 7 and Macross Frontier, where like characters would have a different singing voice. And there's a million examples I can't think of. Just Macross is on my mind right now. So even though these artists would still perform, it wasn't so much that they were like 2.5D. They were just music artists. Or how do I say this? The seiyu weren't the ones performing. It was music artists doing the songs in the anime. It was the reverse of this. You know what I mean? I just find it odd to.
Aikatsu's that way.
Huh?
The seiyus aren't the singers in Aikatsu.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
In the new one they are. In Aikatsu Friends they are, but in the first ones, no, the seiyus were different.
Oh. Well, see, like
they had actual idols do the songs, but like
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like to me, that's always the way I imagine it working better. The whole this is a weird idea. This is probably the toxic idea, Konaru. If anyone wants to be toxic here, I just find it weird that seiyu are turned into idols. That's the long and the short of it. Because a lot of them aren't okay. First of all, they're not, because that's the whole argument we're making here. They're just seiyu who happen to sing, because a lot of them, don't really have anything idol about them except that they portray one on TV. Like
I said, they're just doing their job at the end of the day, and they have if they, especially if like the only thing they're doing, how do I say this? Like, especially if they have like other acting gigs or like seiyu gigs, like they do like video game voice acting, and if their job scope is more of a voice actor, then they're a voice actor. Like if it takes up a majority of what they do. You feel me?
Yeah. Let me see. Do I have anything else written here? But yeah, going on back to the con thing, like I've mentioned it in the past. To keep this more on topic, is also there's the K-pop view of it. But to keep this more on topic, there are times when like I'll look at a description, and I know for a fact Konaru has seen this too, because I think you ranted on like Twitter, not recently, a couple years ago, about seeing this too. But you'll see like idol competition or whatever, idol showcase, like at an event, like that's an event at a convention. But then you read the description of the program guide, and it's all like, "Do you like Love Live? Do you like fuck, I can't think of another one. Idol Master." It's like, come watch that, basically. And I'm like, what? No, we do that for the 2D one, which is fitting, but we don't do that like on the flip side, like I guess because we separate it. But like if we're promoting, I don't know about you at least, Molly, but I've written some of like Dempops, like they're performing at ALA or whatever, and Tiffany, I've written like all of Tiffany's performances, like like the descriptions, I mean to say. And I never started with like, "Are you a fan of Love Live?" They come watch Tiffany, you know.
Not like for like a live thing, but like for like a
no. That's what I mean. That's what I mean by a live. I mean, I'm talking about specifically live performances, like an idol showcase, a performance showcase. I meant to say. You know what I mean, Konaru? Because I'm sure you've seen that countless times.
Yes.
And typically, these descriptions also exist beforehand. I mean, I wouldn't see them because I'm not performing there, obviously, and it's never on my radar. But like, typically these descriptions are already there, and right away you're gonna attract like, you know, all these Love Live cover groups, and oh yeah, it's getting toxic territory because I was gonna mention some of the lack of skill there as well, but that's we won't go into that. That's definitely a next week topic, but because a lot of them just like come together for this one thing for the first time, and you can tell most of them never met each other. Anyway, sorry. I'm not gonna say it, but I go into it anyway. But I think Konaru was mentioned before, and it's funny because Konaru, I don't think, do you still help at all with Texas Idol Festival? I know it's obviously been like a year since you've done anything with it.
Sometimes just behind the scenes stuff, not really like frontline things anymore.
Because like even. Like I forgot what the last. I don't think you were, because I think we've had the discussion already. But I was watching a Texas Idol Festival like thing somewhere, and I was watching some of the clips from it, and they were Love Live. Or actually, I should say Love Live because I can't tell the difference half the time. There were cosplay idol performances, like clearly from an anime, from animes. Yeah. And it was just so funny because I'm like, has this always been the case? They just infiltrated at the end. But I just found it funny that even in like, you know, what I kind of considered one of the better of the idol groups, I think specifically Starlight Idol Festival, which is the one that Haley runs, used to limit more. Well, she's not the one who runs it, but like she helps run it. Like it's like a lot of Danzu Dash and all them. But used to limit a lot more of the cosplay idols. But I think they have some of them too. I don't know.
Really? No, but sadly I was labeled as toxic because I didn't want the cosplayers in the festivals to change that.
Well, once again, not to deviate into this territory, but part of my problem with that is that a lot of them are just odoritas, you know, just dancers.
Mm-hmm. That is something. Idols are sing and dance.
And yeah, once again, like I really have to point out that like Tiffany and Dempop specifically, there's tons of others, and like our Heidi has done it too when she was here, have done performances where they do a mix and they might do a song where they just dance to it instead of performing and singing with it as well. Mm-hmm. But it's still a mix. And I think if they only had one song, they would sing it, but or you know, a much shorter set.
Some dances there are some songs that are impossible to do.
Exactly.
At the same time. That like the singer is not singing that live ever.
Yeah. It's funny, like not to plug Tiffany a bit more here, but like she does a lot of Koto performances, and there are songs, and she's even said it herself that like Koto doesn't sing live, and I'm like, why are you, you know? Mm-hmm. Like there are many songs I'm like, Koto has a track to this, Tiffany, why are you singing it? But anyway, but going back, yeah, that's the other thing. Like a lot of them are just dancers, and I don't know. Odoritas, and I just find it once again that's more of a next week topic, but I don't know, it's insane. I and I also I guess I should be glad that the whole K-pop thing that I felt was creeping in all the time is creeping in less, but it's still obnoxious. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, it's like trading in two evils, and I feel like the cosplay thing has jumped up a lot, and like even in the online cons, the online idol festivals, which there are a million of, I don't think I've watched any of them live, but like I click through some of the promo things that end up on the OIC group every Sunday when I'm like really bored, usually fucking hungover like crazy from DTL, and I'm laying in bed clicking on a few of them to see if there's any good ones, and every so often I'll find one and I'm like, oh look, it's a cosplay idol. And it's like, why were they there? But I don't know. That's toxic and gatekeeping. Look, Konaru, you're rubbing off on me. You're making me evil.
No.
I like how like bringing up like you were actually so animated earlier, but bringing up the toxicness of this all made you like lose all your energy.
Yep.
actually, mainly because of time, let's move on to the Wota thing. So, how Wota are viewed from the outside? Because that's actually one of the other topics
We're
that, like,
all creepy and gross. That's it.
It's fun. Oh shit! From outside, how Wota are seen. I'll just put it like that. So, I gotta figure out a way to make the topic thing bigger at the bottom. But how Wota are seen, or I should put viewed. Whatever, it's done. Molly, would you consider yourself a Wota for starters?
No.
Yeah, because first of all, I'm definitely not. For those that like, I think I was more of a Wota. I don't think I ever was a Wota like ever, but I think I definitely was more of one. Like when A to J first started, it's slowly dwindled and to almost nothing. Not because I hate everything, but just because being more involved with it, like on a professional level, for lack of a better term. I don't want to sound high and mighty, I really don't. But to be more involved with it with a professional level as opposed to a fan level, that just happens. At least it happened for me. I shouldn't say it just happens, but because then again, I know people from other outlets who never lose their fanniness. So I don't know, but what's the PC way to say that stereotypes are based on real things sometimes? Well, I guess I said it.
That's toxic, Manuel.
Well, I said it, but TLDR, I've mentioned this before in the K-pop fandom. Just to circle it back around, because like I say, like it wasn't just picking on you guys. Whenever you have any fandom, there'll be a couple like, not just like bad, like the worst of the K-pop. I think that's a whole other topic. But you have those special people of a fandom, like the ones who are like a little too hardcore about everything, and as it gets bigger, that percentage just grows exponentially. Like in terms of its numbers, the percentages go up, but the numbers do. So that's just kind of the thing with the Wota. But like, Wota culture is both pleasant and unpleasant. And I can say this because I've seen it from all sides. I can see how it's like, you guys are disgusting and creepy, but then I also see how, look, they're just having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, like, if all you've ever seen is Wota in the US, you haven't really seen the full scene. And I'm not just talking about the fans here. I also mean the ones who travel. Because usually the ones who travel are a bit more like, I won't say open-minded, but they're a bit more, they're not the worst of the Wota. I think I mentioned before, I've been to Idol Lives in Japan that we've covered, some of the smaller ones, where like the only girl in the show will be the person I brought, not like a girlfriend. I mean like the person I brought to translate or to help me with the interview. I mean to say like that. You know what I mean? And like that'll be the one girl, like in the entire venue. It's like, what the fuck? It's like where it's nothing but guys, and I'll be the youngest guy. You know what I mean? But I don't want to say they're all like just creepy old men, because like more often than not they're nice. I've also met my share of creepy fans who are just outright like,
I've met more creepy American fans than Japanese fans. I've
mentioned it before in the past. Like I would name him if I could remember it, but I knew this fan who was just like, and I hated him. He was it was at SakuraCon and Bandmade was there, and he was just like, he was on one. Basically, one of his things. And this is not really related to Bandmade, but some of the members of Bandmade were involved in like this like hostessy bar, for lack of a better term. Like I don't know if this is supposed to be known, by the way, because I've talked to Bandmade fans, and there's a few that are like, oh, we don't talk about that, like don't mention that, because I guess you're not supposed to speak that out loud. But like for a fact, the one who does all the talking, the bassist, like the leader of the group, like the one who did all the talking in the interview for us, she was one of the people at this hostess club, and this is during Bandmade. TLDR, like he would always go to see her, and that's how this story started. But that wasn't the part that disgusted me about him. That was just kind of like, that was a little weird, and I found out some funny thing there. But he used to go on and on about like his thing about like, how when an idol, and this doesn't happen that much unless you're like, random member of like indie idol group. You know how like there are times when like we've talked about this in the 18 plus idol panel, where so and so member of this group is now at a soapland. So and so member is now like doing this like sex work. That happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This guy would go out and track them all down to fuck them all. No other way to put it, because that's all the idols were to him. Were like people to lust after. And he was old. Huh?
Was it a foreigner or a Japanese?
He was a foreigner. He was a foreigner. He was straight up a foreigner.
Even worse.
I'm pretty sure, and this part I'm like just making up here. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm willing to bet though. He seems the kind of person who goes like, well, obviously he's going on one there. Like he just goes on sex vacations everywhere in Asia. You know what I mean? He probably goes to Thailand for some bullshit too. And you know what I mean by bullshit. But anyways, I shouldn't know if the accusations that deep. I don't remember his name, so you guys, for all I know, I'm making all this up. But no, I did talk. He was talking about this stuff, and it was so. And we were at a cheesecake factory. I'm not making this up. We were at a cheesecake factory. I just said I might have been. We were at a cheesecake factory, Molly, and I wasn't eating because I just didn't like. I didn't want to eat. I got a piece of cheesecake and some beer, and I was there with a certain friend of ours. I won't say his name because I don't want to like out him, and you might be able to guess maybe if you know his friends who this person might be. But I was there with a certain friend of ours, and he invited me to go hang out with these fans. And there was actually a lot of us, because Cheesecake Factory, like I guess they were kind of crowded or whatever. Like we couldn't seat us together, so we were like seated like in separate booths, like in a row. But like we weren't all together. I just happened to be in the booth with like this friend and this guy, and there was like two others. But I just happened to be in this like section with them. And I remember afterwards that friend apologized to me. He's like, "I'm sorry I brought you. That guy was a fucking asshole." Like I'm like, yeah. It was that bad that even like the other Wota people were like, and we were all kind of discussing with him, and we didn't know how to stop him. It's like he was just going on one. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't drunk, by the way. I don't think he was even drinking with us. He this is just.
I'm sorry, I got distracted because I saw a fly in my room, and I'm really tired, so it distracted me. What did he say?
Oh my god. Okay, I'll give you the quick version because I did kind of babble there a bit. TLDR. Wait. What did the guy say to me that kind of offended us all? Mm-hmm. That he basically like. He had a long roundabout way to getting to it. Basically, he lusts after all the idols. It's the only reason he does anything for like Japanese girls, or like it's the only reason he's a fan of anything. Is he just lusts after them, and he specifically tracks down the ones who go into sex work to fuck them. So yeah,
that's really sad.
It really is.
Okay, at first when you said you might know this person, blah,
no,
blah, blah,
you definitely don't know the guy. You definitely don't know him. But you know the mutual friend, and I mean just on the off chance, because like every so often I still think some of the old title fans still watch this podcast. And just in case you could piece this all together, you can piece together just by what I said. Just I don't want to like fully reveal too much info about this guy whose name I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie, I would have said it. I'm not saying I'm defending. I'm like hiding the guy. I would have said it. I just rather not have it pieced together by someone else if I didn't do it. That sounds weird, but anyways. But if anyone knows, let me know in the comments. But anyways, so there are the whole reason I brought that up, because like Konaru said, I have met far more creepier Western fans, and there are other ones. There's this friend of ours. By ours, I meant me and Tipu's within the Hello Project fandom, and he's a pretty big fan of Sakura, Ota Sakura, and like all he ever posts, and I think even he's one of those people who makes like the profile pictures of like the idol sometimes, and he'll only post the pictures of her like the more risque ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like he was doing this for a while. I don't know if she was ever really underage with the Hello Project. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure she was at some point, but he definitely has been doing this ever since she's been in the group. And it was just always very awkward to see, because I'm like, what the? And he's old. They're always old, but like he's a lot older than me. He's like well over 40, like just as a random guess. And it's just like, dude, what? Like, there's a point where this gets creepy, and like, I don't know. It's not even that it gets creepy, it gets very fetishistic. Is that even a word? But yeah. But honestly, some of them Konaru said, I think you get a lot more respect, for lack of a better word, from the Japanese Wota. Which is actually what I was trying to say earlier. I was trying to say the demographic usually is a lot harsher if you just show up there. I went to a White All concert one time to cover it, and it was me and Eunice were there, and it wasn't where I brought the only girl because Eunice was there, but there was about, and it was an anniversary concert, so it was kind of a bit of a sizable crowd for White All. It was a one man, and there was about like 80 people there, and there were only two other girls there. And it was very clear that only one of them was a fan, and the other girl just felt really, really awkward. And I bet you the fan probably felt awkward too, which is why she brought her friend, you know? Because the friend did not, like, and they were kind of towards the back where we were. We were like in the audience, sort of, but we were like in the sitting area right before where the audience begins. And they were kind of close to us, and you could see the friend was kind of just like on her phone most of the time. And but yeah, I don't know. Have you ever been in a concert like that, Konaru, where you're like the only girl?
Yes. The Kamen Joshi concert I went to, I was the only girl.
Oh my god.
Other than that, no, that was the only concert I was.
I've been to several. I
used to, because whenever I go to concerts, I always go with like a friend or something like that. And 99% of the time, they're what do you call it? Okay. You know, female.
It was funny. I started laughing my ass off under who just said, it's like, I've been to several, and I'm like, wait, I would have been the only girl, would I? But anyways, like something I'm not telling you guys, but no, I mean, I've been to several where like there's only one girl, and it's typically somebody who came with me. Like I remember I went to this really big show. I mentioned this a million times. I'm not going to go over the show, but I went to this really big show on Friday the 13th. And I think the headliner was Maison Book Girl and fucking Gang Parade. Like they were like kind of co-headliners, and it was one of those like 6-hour shows. No girls showed up until right before Maison Book Girl. It was just guys for like, and it was
You always talk about this one.
Yeah. Only because I found that weird, because it was just a diverse lineup. Anyways, I've seen like several, and I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. I don't want to bring up that live again. I've seen Festive, and it's only been like me hiding in Eunice, and I've seen BPM Ichigo Q, and it was only me and Tiffany, and the only other girls there were apparently girls from another idol group, because Tiffany was like, oh, they're not actually fans, they're just like from another group that like are here because of her. And I'm like, oh, okay. Her being not Rina Hamu, Nikamoku, the other girl. But rip Cyber, by the way. Anyway,
oh yeah, I heard that they had
they're breaking up.
Yeah,
they're breaking up soon. Rip Cyber. What was I getting? What was the point of this? Oh, fans, Wota. What was that documentary called? Tokyo Idol? Is that what it was called?
I hate that one.
The one that was mostly on what's her name? Shit, I forget her name, but we've actually interviewed her. I can't remember her name though. She was one of our very first interviews with A to J. Anyways, it focuses mainly on this one idol. They talk about some others, but they mainly focus on this one girl who like streams every day, and she does like a lot of like lives and whatever. But anyways, she even streamed when she was in the US. Like it was part of her like, 1,000 days of streaming or whatever, and she streamed every day she was in the US as well. I remember I had friends who would like, I don't know if this is creepy or not. I had friends who would watch it. They're like, "Oh my god, she's in Hollywood," and they like all jump in a car and go drive out to meet her. Which I don't know if that's creepy or not. I don't know. You tell me. But I legit don't know. That wasn't my way of saying it's creepy. I just don't want to say it. I really don't know. But but gosh, I just can't remember her name. You saw her too, Molly. I don't know if you remember. I just don't know. You weren't at the interview, I think, but you definitely saw her live. She was the girl with the backpack and like at that Japan Expo. She had yellow. She was wearing a lot of yellow, and she had a backpack. That was like part of her outfit. She had a backpack. She was dancing in a backpack. Huh?
That sounds kind of familiar.
There weren't that many soloists. She was like one of them, and she was dancing in a backpack. I just remember like I remember thinking how not stupid, but like ridiculous of a concept that was. Why would you dance in a backpack? Like, have you ever danced? Has anyone danced in a backpack? I just feel like I mean I haven't, but I feel like the constant jostling of weight would inhibit dancing.
Yeah, it would have to be like filled specially.
Exactly. It can't be filled with like heavy books. And then you probably break your back at some point anyway. But yeah, anyways. But that Tokyo Idol one is really bad if that's your first exposure to Wota, because it shows a lot of like older men who just spend all their money on these idols, and I don't know. It's a complicated cultural thing as well. I don't know. See, part of me feels like there's no comparison to it in the U.S., but yet simping culture, for lack of it, I don't know what people call it, but simping culture is very, very similar to it. Except that simping culture is definitely toxic, like a lot more toxic, I mean to say. Not always toxic, but it's a lot more toxic, you know? Don't you agree, Konaru? With both of those points, maybe? I don't know. Konaru's a simp for a lot of idols. She's also definitely a Wota for a lot of idols.
Yeah. But it's been on the down low nowadays.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a given anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel finding a young male idol fan in Japan is so rare. Like, I think it's far more rare than like a female idol fan. I never really thought about that. I don't think anyone ever says that. Like,
I've met a lot.
I've seen a lot too, because I've always mentioned that we went to go see Petit Pas at that joint live with VP and Michigo Q, which also didn't have any girls, by the way. But we went to go see a joint live with them too. It was the last time, because I think Petit Pas was breaking. I think they were both breaking up, but at that live, that was the one where like one of the members of Petit Pas slapped one of the fans, who was on someone's shoulders, and he was definitely. They were both very young. The ones who were like doing the lifting and the one getting slapped. And
why did she slap him?
Because I think he wanted to. He was on someone's shoulders. By the way, that stage was really low. Like, I think that was a concert I told you. Like, me and Tiffany were literally dodging kicks because that's how low and close the stage was. So the fact that he was that high was kind of ridiculous to begin with. But he had taken off his shirt and he was like on this guy's shoulders. He was all like, ah, like, you know, waving to his face, and she slapped him. Like, really hard too. Like, I don't mean like a tap. I mean like she followed through, and like he didn't like fall off. He kind of like jumped off. He jumped off the guy's shoulder because he landed pretty okay. He like landed okay, and he was like, "Yeah!" Like that. Like
how old were they?
Like that dude was probably younger than me. He was like in his early 20s. And the other guy looked like a gang member. The other guy looked straight up like a gang member because he was wearing like this, like he was wearing all these baggy clothes, and he had this jacket that had like a tiger on the back, and he had like bleach blonde hair. He looked like a stereotypical like wannabe high school like gangster kid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the one you would see in a drama with like the tough kid, in a high school, like, you know, live action Japanese drama. But yeah, he looked like he was a gangster. It was the weirdest like, I won't call him a couple, but it was the weirdest thing. But and I think it was one of that gangster's friends who sold me the ticket to that show because it was sold out. But yeah, anyway, what was the point I was getting at here? Young fans, fuck, there was a point I was going to make. There was another anecdote I had. Slapping. What was it? I don't know, Konaru, would you want to be slapped with an idol? Hopefully with an idol. Would you want to be slapped with an idol?
It depends on the idol, TBH.
With an idol, someone picks up the idol and just smacks you across the face with her. What was I gonna say though? I had another anecdote. I can't. Fuck, what was it? I'm never gonna remember now. It's gonna bother. I'm gonna remember when we're done. That's the worst part. Fuck. I'm not gonna remember. Whatever. Let's move on. How many have you been in any concerts in Japan, Molly?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I know you've been to Japan, even with Japan recent-ish, but
the
like,
closest that I've been to a concert in Japan was when I was an exchange student and we had a choir competition.
Oh my god, I don't know if that counts, but yeah, that sounds fun.
I was also in it, so. Like,
oh, I was participating in the concert.
I mean, we weren't the only. It was every class had a song, so.
It was funny because like when we did that trip when we had Heidi do a lot of our translating, I think she I think she already had, but they didn't remember her. They didn't act like it. But after the fact, she would end up performing with some of the groups we interviewed now, which is really funny. After not with, but you know what I mean, on the same lives. But yeah, I just found that I thought that was funny. What the fuck was they gonna say about young Wota though? God damn. God, it's gonna bother me. Sorry guys, keep talking about something while I think about this like really carefully. God, you guys are gonna say anything. God damn it, where's Callie? We need Callie. She like just blabs sometimes. Anyway. Oh, fuck, I'm not gonna remember. Anyway. What else is on the
Should we start wrapping this up?
No, we still have the secret topic. We still have 15 more minutes, just make it start late. But let me see. Culture, different. Simp culture. Was it about simps? No, it wasn't about simps. But I already made my simp reference, which is not part of my notes, but I thought it up on the fly. Konaru is a simp. What else was there? Everyone goes simp for all the idols. I think a lot of idols. I think every person is like in Peachy Parade has an OnlyFans, and especially every person in main Peachy Parade has an OnlyFans, including all the ones who've been on the DTL, and so does Hina, who's been on the DTL. So everyone go join their OnlyFans. Nice plug. But let's talk about our bonus topic. Produce 101. I want to hear your hot take on iZone. They're actually called iZone, right? Konaru?
What? Yeah, I don't really follow them though.
I know. What was your? Oh shit! My mask is like totally crooked. What's your hot take on because you made a post and it actually made me days ago.
Oh yeah. No, I mean like I didn't like the concept of Produce 48.
I've mentioned it before, and it has not. Bless you. Are you okay? You've been sneezing a lot. That's like the 5th sneeze you've had.
I have allergies.
But we mentioned this a lot in the past, especially as the show was going, as they won and they're releasing their first singles and debuting. Sorry. And even during the competition, I'm pretty sure the idea was that it would like be more of a melding of the fandoms, or like, you know, introduce more people from either group, like, you know, fans of AKB to, you know, the greater K-pop world and vice versa. But it definitely, I don't think it did that at all. All it did was really, because I've never met somebody who was a fan, and Konaru is a really good example. And this I definitely have never met. I've never met somebody who was solely an AKB fan who was won over by iZone. It's always a K-pop fan who just likes them as for the K-popness. Or maybe they were a mild AKB fan as well, and it just happens to be that now there's a few members in there. But it definitely I don't think it worked that way. And all it did was it locked girls from this other group like into this weird contract. And especially in iZone's case, they were implicated in the voting scandal. I mentioned earlier that I mentioned on the DTL that even though Rocket Girls kind of had a bit. Rocket Girls, by the way, with Produce 101 China's first season's group. I didn't watch season 2 was a male group. I have no idea what group that was. I think Molly watched that one, but
that was part of it.
Huh?
I didn't finish it.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it. I'm not a huge fan of male idol groups, especially the Chinese ones, because a lot of them are so like try hard, like to be like copycat.
Product placement is so blatant.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of male idol groups in China. It's complicated, but it's not like I hate all guys. I like Arashi and I like some of the Japanese ones. I'm just not a huge fan of idol groups in China, male idol groups. But anyways, it kind of did hit Rocket Girls, even though they were not part of the voting scandal. I believe that when Produce 101 China was like a Tencent production, like the group Tencent, the company Tencent, you know, the one that everyone hates in video games right now. They actually own most of they own most of the world. Everyone be careful with them. They have like Nintendo in their back pocket even. But anyway, they I think that was their show, and they were not implicated in the voting scandal, but Produce 48 was. So, and they were talking about breaking them up. So, if anything, like they hurt all the members' reputations by being involved in this. Like there'll always be that stigma of whether these girls should be in that group. I don't know. And all it really did was took Sakura away from 48G for 2 years. And like Konaru mentioned, AKB has been definitely 48G, but especially AKB specifically, have been stagnating like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that IZ One specifically was the factor that created this, but they definitely were by accident. And I know it's like it. What is it? Causation isn't like no wait. What is it? Whatever is not causation. What's the phrase? Correlation is not causation is not correlation is not causation, because it definitely was the first thing in the step, because that was before the last Senbatsu that IZ One thing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think it actually ended after Senbatsu, but yeah, my point is it definitely happened around the same time. Like it did start like the long slow decline sorta of AKB48. I say sorta because they're still on top of the world in terms of sales, but apparently they're not making any money. So yeah, go figure about that. But that's a topic for another day, I guess. But yeah, in case you didn't know, I mentioned on GTL about SING and Rocket Girls. Everyone go watch that, because apparently it got a ton of views, and I'm embarrassed because it was a drunk presentation, and people are commenting on it, and people are correcting me, and I'm like, dudes, I was drunk.
I know what they're correcting you on.
How do you know? Did you read the comment?
No, but is it because you called them sing?
Oh, I called them sing several times. I don't know if you noticed. I only caught myself doing it once, but when I was watching my presentation back, I said it several times. I said, "Did you guys notice?" Because nobody pointed it out when I was doing it.
No, I didn't notice.
Like, they have a show, the variety show is called SING Home. I think I called it Sing Home the entire time. But no, there was dude, I don't think because they noticed that I was the one talking, but there was at one point when I mentioned that one of the girls left for a year and a half. And I knew it was because of school. I knew that, and I think it was in my notes. But I think fucking I mentioned that she came back in time for their resurgence, like the huge come up when they were taking off. And one of you, I think it was fucking Pleiades. I forget who said it. It was all like, "Oh, that was a good business decision, right?" And I moved on, and I guess they thought that that's what we said, and they corrected me on that. Like, no, it's because of school. I'm like, yeah, I knew that. I didn't say the business decision part. Why are you blaming me? I don't know. They wrote a whole laundry list of everything I fucked up on, and I just I will admit there were like two I didn't know, like I legit didn't know. So but there were several that I'm like, dude, I was drunk. Did you not see what we were doing? I was drunk when we started. Anyway, I'm just upset. I'm embarrassed because everyone's watching that DTL for my segment, and it's like it was one of my more wonkier presentations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's embarrassing, and it doesn't help that they keep auditing that fucking video, because I guess a lot of people are watching it, so the views keep fluctuating. Which is good and bad. It means a lot of people are watching it. But it's also, by the way, what they do is, like, if a view is only, like, all the views are less than a minute, they just kick them out. So, at the very least, we know that all the views are, like, legit views, but still, it's obnoxious. Like, it's not just somebody who watched a bit, then got bored and clicked off.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Or it's not the same account, because they do that, too. They get rid of duplicates. Within 24 hours. I forget what the fuck the thing is. Anyways, let's wrap it up. I never remember what the fuck I was going to say about young Wota. If I remember, I will put it on YouTube in a comment. And let's wrap it up. Oh, we actually we have 4 viewers. I wonder who they are. Which means I think one of them. Oh no, we're all modded. So yeah, we have like 3 or 4 real actual viewers. Hey everyone. Thank you for not talking to the chat, because I don't mean that sarcastically. I mean it legitimately, because I forgot to look at it. So if you guys were talking, I would have not seen it. Let's wrap it up, Konaru.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put like a little wrap up thingy here. What's coming up new with Konaru? Konaru, are you gonna have your 2D? You mentioned already about getting all your 2D stuff. Is that gonna happen soon? Like,
fairly soon. Like once I get the model finished, like my 2D model. That's basically it. I just gotta like do some experimenting with the VTube Studio, streaming, etc. And yeah, after that, I'm gonna make an official 2D debut. Also, HoloLive just announced they're gonna have a 5th gen debut. Oh my god!
Oh,
fucking yeah!
Are you gonna try to join them or whatever? We were talking about that.
Dude, I almost auditioned for their English branch, but I was too late for that.
Oh, rip. I need to find out what's happening with Whackchin. I was trying to follow it because I know Jasmine.
Dude, a lot of foreigners got in for that.
Yeah, it's actually really confusing. I'm so confused what's going on with that because pretty much everyone I know is in it. I just didn't realize it. It's the audition for a new group, and Jasmine kind of explained it to us a bit. It's meant to be like a worldwide group, so I'm confused what the fuck it is, and it's open to male and female, so it's not really an idol group. I'm not sure what the fuck it is.
It's a something. It's a whack thing.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest with you, and I think I told Jasmine already, like in a message, and she kind of was like, "Yeah, lol." So I don't think she's gonna be offended by it, but no offense to Jasmine if she happens to be watching. I don't know, but I find the whole concept spurious. It just feels like Watanabe bullshit's gonna get all these foreigners. Then like, there's no actual group. I don't know what to do with you guys. Go back home, because the whole concept just seems so unusual.
Mm-hmm.
And like he being Watanabe, the person in like the head of like Whack or whatever you would call it, he specifically seems to fluctuate between taking the contest very seriously and kind of treating it like the way he does to all other like Whack shit where he's just fucking with you. So, but I guess that's like the way he is. But still, it's kind of obnoxious. I don't know. I need to talk to Jasmine what's going on, but a lot of foreigners. All I saw were foreigners when I was trying to look it up. I'm like, are there any Japanese people in this group? Because I was under the impression it was a mixed group. There was only going to be a few foreigners. But anyway, maybe it was on a foreign section of like their voting site. I don't know. Anyway, what's new with Molly? What are you doing besides DTL this weekend?
Fixing the sleep schedule.
Okay, go listen to her 18 cover mermaid melody covers. Hopefully I'll get it. Hopefully I'll fix this monitor. If not, I'm gonna have to buy one, I guess. But I don't think it'll get here in time for DTL, so I'll just rearrange the ones I have, so that this is at least more feasible, especially for DTL, because I need one for the fucking presentation. So I have to figure this out by then. Fuck, that means my presentation is gonna be blurry as fuck. I'll figure this out. I might just rush one from Amazon if I really have to. Anyway. Oh, idiocy. Just missed it. Sorry, dude. Oh, yeah, we're wrapping up. Sorry. To be fair, it was kind of a... Actually, we did kind of announce that you were the DTL, so yeah. Catch us this Saturday, though, and catch us next Tuesday. Hopefully Tuesday, right, Konar? Or you're not going to be here. Next Tuesday for sure. I already confirmed that date with the person to be on it. We're talking a more hot takey topic. It'll be Tiffany and someone else. Like I said, there's a few options there. Maybe Sylvia. Maybe I'll wrangle in Callie. Who knows? But Callie will be an odd choice, but she'll be a nice devil's advocate, I think. Nice middle ground for that topic, I feel. But anyway, Saturday is my birthday. I'll be on DTL. If somebody wants to be really nice, go gift me a monitor. And yeah, do that for me. I should have added that to my post, because I made a post saying somebody buy me. Did I say it for my birthday? I did say it for my birthday. Actually, never mind. I did say that. Somebody buy me a monitor for my birthday. You could be a cheap one. I don't care. Give me like a $60-$80 Acer one or something. Not Acer. What the hell was that?
What?
That was a loud clap. I remember when we were talking about porn being illegal in Korea or whatever, and like talking about like people having to watch porn in Korea. Like sometimes people have to take care of things, and you clapped or whatever. And I was just like, Konaru, please. But anyway. Anyway, nobody clapped to porn. That's awkward. Support us on Patreon if you can. Patreon.com/EJConnections. I will toss that link in the thing. Shout out to Ed and Kenneth, the current patrons. If you want to support us elsewhere, you could like, comment, subscribe here on Twitch. Actually, no, you can sub here on Twitch or just follow us. You could like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, share the video around. I don't know, I say that all the time, but I noticed that a lot of the views on the DTL, the Sing one, the SING one, sorry, they're coming from a Discord. So I'm like, I think it was shared somewhere, and I'm doubly awkward. So I don't know if I say share it, but then when it happens, I'm like, please don't. But I don't know. Do what you want. And I think that's it. Saturday TL, Tuesday podcast, and I guess that's it. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Everyone go to sleep. I'm gonna
Good
finish.
night.
I have a burrito here that I'm
to
gonna
bed.
eat. Good night, everyone. Don't leave, Konaru.
Good
Bye. Don't leave yet. Why were you trying to leave right? Oh shit.